Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get into it. All right. So you guys already know what to do as you come into the video. Make sure you smash that like button. Say what's up in the comment section. If you're not subscribed, hit the bell. Share the video out to all of your social media. Follow the backup channels. And also make sure you follow my other social media. I think I said that already. But if I didn't, you know what I'm saying? So it's good to see everybody. I hope that everybody is doing well today. Got a couple things that we want to talk about. And I'm actually starting this early because man, it's just so much content. Your boy wants to make videos, but I can't get it all out at the same time. I can't get it all out at the same time. So I gotta do the streams. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Vovo2 Love. What up with it, Vovo2 Love? Good to see you as always. We got Pirate in the building. We got the fam in the house. Let's get it. Got my man Emmanuel Carey up in here. You know what I'm saying? We rocking already early in the morning. What's good with it? So here's my question for you guys. And shouts out to Carla Lockhart. What up with it, Carla? Good to see you as always. How many of you guys heard about the baby formula shortage? If you guys heard about the baby formula shortage, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you did not, give me a thumbs down. We got my man AB Promotions in the building. What's good with it, bro? We got my man D-Buck in the house over on Twitch. And make sure that you guys go follow your boy on Twitch if you have the Twitch app downloaded on your phone. That'll give you another notification when your boy goes live so that you don't miss out on the stream. You know what I'm saying? We got my man RG Titan in the building. We in here. You know what I'm saying? We in here. So now here's my question for you guys. What do you guys think about this baby formula shortage? Apparently up in Michigan, Abbott is going to restart the baby formula plant that's linked to the contamination. Now, I haven't been following this story very closely, but I'm curious as to what kind of corrective actions they put in place to make sure that this doesn't happen again. I don't know, and I didn't hear anything about it. And if you guys know about how Michigan deals with contamination, they don't have a very good track record for it. So let's check this out and see what they're talking about.
Baby formula plant in Sturgis is officially reopened. The plant, which shuttered its doors in February, leading to a nationwide baby formula crisis, is now up and running. The company says it'll focus on producing its EllaCare formula, meant for babies with digestive issues, before moving on to regular formula. It hopes to have an initial product release in the next 2 weeks.
Kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? Kind of crazy, ladies and gentlemen.
Good news.
So check this out.
Good news for parents.
There we go. All right. Abbott Nutrition has restarted production at the Michigan baby formula factory that has been closed for months due to contamination. The company said on Saturday they're taking a step towards easing a nationwide supply shortage that is expected to persist into the summer. So not only with all of the other shortages that we're talking about as far as how the economy is going, we're having a shortage when it comes to baby formula as well. Not looking good for Joe Biden. The February shutdown of the largest formula factory in the country led to the supply problems that have forced some parents to seek formula from food banks, friends, and doctors' offices. Now, did you guys know that this formula shortage was that bad? I didn't know that it was that bad. That's kind of crazy. Abbott said it initially will prioritize production of its EllaCare specialty formulas for infants with severe food allergies and digestive problems who have few other options for nutrition. The company said it will take about 3 weeks before the new formula from the plant begins to get to customers. We will ramp up production as quickly as we can while meeting all requirements, Abbott said in a statement. Now, here's my question. Does this sound like a shortage? Does this sound like demand is increasing? Let me ask you guys this. If there's a shortage and the demand is increasing, more than likely, what do you guys think is going to happen to the price? That's my question. What do you expect as far as the price of baby formula? What can we expect to see? So now here it says the plant's reopening is one of several federal actions that are expected to improve supplies in the weeks ahead. President Joe Biden's administration has eased import rules for foreign manufacturers, airlifted formula from Europe, and invoked federal emergency rules to prioritize U.S. production. Now, here's my question. Did you guys know about that? Did you guys know about that? Emmanuel Carey says it's going up. You know what I'm saying? RG Titan said it's going to go up, bro. AB Promotions had to take it back to the BX all the way up. All the way up. Abbott closed the Sturgis, Michigan factory in February after the Food and Drug Administration began investigating 4 bacterial infections among infants who consumed powdered formula from the plant. 2 of the babies died. The company continues to state that its products have not been directly linked to the infections, which involved different bacterial strains. So now here's my question. How do we know that? Shouts out to Alicia. What up with it, Alicia? Good to see you as always. How do we know that? Like they're making some interesting claims. You know what I'm saying? Now, they say that it's not linked, but what I find fascinating is that it came from that plant. So my question is, if they're saying that it didn't come from the plant, my question is, where are we assuming that it came from? And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we got 11 people watching. If everybody smashes that like button, we will have 17 likes. So now here it says FDA inspectors eventually uncovered. Look at this. Now, this is what they said initially. The company continues to state that its products have not been directly linked to the infections, which involved different bacterial strains. Now, here it says FDA inspectors eventually uncovered a host of violations at the plant, including a bacterial contamination, a leaky roof, and lax safety protocols. The FDA has faced intense scrutiny for taking months to close the plant and then negotiate its reopening. Agency leaders recently told Congress they had to enter a legally binding agreement with Abbott to assure all the problems were fixed. But Abbott is still trying to maintain that they didn't do anything wrong. What do you guys think about that? I mean, wow. So now here it says Abbott's February recall of several leading brands, including Similac, squeezed supplies that have already been strained by supply chain disruptions and stockpiling during C19 shutdowns. The shortage has been the most dire for children with allergies, digestive problems, and metabolic disorders who rely on specialty formulas. The Abbott factory is the only source of many of these products, providing nutrition to about 5,000 U.S. babies, according to federal officials. Abbott is one of just 4 companies that produce 90% of U.S. formula. Now, there's 4 companies that produce 90% of U.S. formula. Doesn't that sound to you like a monopoly? If that sounds like a monopoly, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If it doesn't sound like a monopoly, then give me a thumbs down and tell me what do you call this type of market structure where 4 large companies own 90% of the production. The company's recall and shutdown triggered a cascade of events. Retailers have limited customer purchasing to conserve supplies, and parents have been told to switch brands to whatever formula is in stock. FDA Commissioner Robert Califf recently told lawmakers it could be about 2 months before formula supplies return to normal levels. The agency has waived many of its regulatory requirements to accept more formula from the United Kingdom, Australia, and other nations. U.S. manufacturers include Rickett and Gerber. They've also stepped up production, running plants 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and sourcing more formula from alternative facilities. This sounds extremely shady, in my opinion. Shouts out to Black Queen Genius. And I agree. If you guys agree with Black Queen Genius that breastfeeding is the best option, give me a thumbs up in the chat. And if you agree, why is breastfeeding the best option? Why would that be the best option? You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of benefits when it comes to breastfeeding. You know what I'm saying? There are definitely benefits. You know what I'm saying? So now, I don't know if you guys were aware, but you guys remember Governor Whitmer? She's the one that almost got kidnapped, or allegedly almost got kidnapped, whatever was going on. B1 Black Queen Genius, good to see you as always. Hope all is well. Whitmer announces a $120 million expansion at the Pfizer facility in Kalamazoo. What do you guys think that means is going to happen? What do you guys think that means is going to happen? Whitmer is announcing a $120 million expansion at Pfizer facility in Kalamazoo. Who do you think is going to get those jobs? Nutritions and vitamins for the breast milk. That's a fact. Another thing that breast milk has in it is something called immunoglobulins. Who knows what IG is? Who knows what immunoglobulins are? When I say IG, I ain't talking about Instagram. I'm talking about immunoglobulins. What are immunoglobulins? Carla Lockhart says a monopoly, like when there was only Bell Telephone and AT&T. I remember that. We used to have Ohio Bell. You know what I'm saying? So real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't smashed that like button, please make sure you guys smash that like button. All right. Also, make sure you guys subscribe to the backup channels. If you're not subscribed to the backup channels, hit the about page and follow the other social media. I want to tell you guys about the prize pot. Did you guys see the community posts? Do you guys know what prize pot is? What prize pot is what we're going to start doing is we're going to have a random trivia segment. All right. And the moderators are going to be the judges. They're going to determine who answers the question first. All right. Whoever answers the question first, drop your Cash App into the comment section and you will receive a prize. Now, this is how this is going to work. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to take maybe like 10% of my YouTube monthly earnings. And with that 10%, I'm going to start the pot. All right. I'm going to start the prize pot with 10% of my YouTube monthly earnings. As the monthly earnings increase, I'm going to increase the pot. It's going to start off at $5 per prize. As the pot doubles, the prize will double. And we'll probably do like 2 or 3 prize pots per live stream, depending on how long they are. And depending on, if we get super chats and different things like that. You know what I'm saying? The larger the pot, clearly the more frequently we can do the pot, clearly the better the prizes that we can do. But I think that would be a pretty cool idea. You know what I'm saying? What do you guys think? If you guys think that that's a good idea, give me a thumbs up. If you guys think that that's a bad idea, give me a thumbs down. So now let's take a listen to this and see what they're talking about.
Investment in Michigan's Pfizer plant is helping the state make moves when it comes to COVID care.
With this investment in Kalamazoo, we're shoring up our supply chain and showing the world that Michigan is the place to be for companies who want to do big things and need the incredible workforce to accomplish those things.
Pfizer says it'll add 250 new jobs to its manufacturing facility thanks to a $120 million investment. The new jobs and money are meant to boost production of its antiviral COVID-19 pill, Paxlovid. The Kalamazoo factory is the sole manufacturer of the pill in the U.S.
All right, so there's that. Okay, hold on. All right. Oh, no.
An investment in Michigan's Pfizer plant is helping the state make.
There we go. All right. There we go. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer joined representatives from Pfizer in Kalamazoo on Monday, June 6th, for a tour of the facility. Now, I got a question. What I'm curious about is how much and how invested do you think Governor Whitmer is in Pfizer? Do you think that she has a personal stake in the company? If you guys think that she has a personal stake in the company, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you guys don't think that she has a personal stake in the company and that she's just doing this out of the goodness of her heart, put a heart in the chat. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we got 10 likes. If everybody smashes that like button, we will be at 21. You know what I'm saying? That would be great. So now here it says Whitmer announced plans to increase manufacturing capabilities for the COVID-19 treatment Paxlovid. All right. Pfizer's 120 million expansion in Kalamazoo, creating 250 good-paying jobs, making Paxlovid save lives and build on Michigan's economic momentum, said Whitmer. Pfizer's Kalamazoo facility also made some of the first doses of the vaccine, and now this proud Michigan company will play a critical role in both the treatment and prevention of COVID. By creating opportunity for Michiganders, Pfizer is helping us grow our economy, create good paying jobs, and keep families safe. Now, I have a question. Who all do you think is going to be able to get these jobs and benefit from this? Facts. Funny thing about her heart is that it's located in her wallet. That's hilarious. She's from that Brittany Renner school. You know what I'm saying? Paxlovid has been proven to reduce hospitalization and death by almost 90% in high-risk patients when administered within 5 days of symptoms. Officials say Pfizer has manufactured over 5.5 million packs of Paxlovid across 26 countries, including 1.3 million courses shipped to the United States. This investment will help Pfizer increase the supply of Paxlovid to meet global demand. With this investment, Kalamazoo, we're shoring up our supply chain and showing the world that Michigan is the place to be for companies who want to do big things and need the incredible workforce to accomplish those things. So what do you guys think about that? It's always interesting when these politicians announce all of this money that's made. AB Promotion says Mr. Hellman will get the job. If you guys agree with AB Promotions, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you disagree, give me a thumbs down, man. That's funny as hell. Uh-oh, Richard. Uh-oh, Richard. Houston, we have a problem. Take a wild guess what that problem is, you guys. There's some unexpected turn of events occurring. One of those unexpected turn of events is that there's more monkeypox cases. Now, remember the original videos that we did where we talked about monkeypox? What did they say about monkeypox? It's not something that we should really worry about too much. The UK reports 104 more cases of monkeypox, mostly in men. And just for the record, just so we're clear, just so that the content is complete and thorough, what kind of men? What kind of men? Just so everybody's clear, just so we all know what time it is, just so we all know what's going on here. What kind of men? What kind of men suffer from monkeypox? AB Promotion says Lucky Charms. If you guys agree that Lucky Charms are those kind of men that are the most likely to be diagnosed with monkeypox, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you disagree, give me a thumbs down. I think it's a combination of both. Facts. You know what I'm saying? British health officials have detected another 104 cases of monkeypox in England, in what has become the biggest outbreak beyond Africa of the normally rare disease. I like how they had to throw that in. It's become the biggest outbreak beyond Africa. I thought the first case of this outbreak was found over in Canada. B1 to my man Mike Mellis. John, what's good with it, bro? I thought the first case was found in Canada. The first case that was found in the United States, if I'm not mistaken, was in Boston, right? I find it fascinating that they have to throw that little sentence in there. The UK Health Security Agency said on Monday that there were now 470 cases of monkeypox across the United States, with the vast majority in these kind of men. Now, what I find fascinating is, do you guys think that they're not talking about that because they're worried about the scrutiny that they may have? Shouts out to Carla Lockhart with the accurate answer. You know what I'm saying? Mike says, yeah, the first two cases was here in Massachusetts. You'd think they'd be in San Francisco. That's what you'd think. You know what I'm saying? Scientists warn that anyone, regardless of sexual orientation, is susceptible to catching monkeypox if they are in close physical contact with an infected person or their clothing or bed sheets. What I find fascinating is, why are the like this clearly happens. It says a vast majority is in these particular kind of men. Yet instead of giving these particular kind of men specific education and information on how to not pass it, they all lives mattered it and didn't say anything, but then turned around and said, regardless of sexual orientation, anyone is susceptible of catching monkeypox, instead of giving specific directions to the Lucky Charms about how they can prevent spreading it. Shouts out to the motherland, specifically Uganda. Why are you gay? Oh, shit. According to the UK, 99% of the cases so far have been in men, and most are in London. Men who have been in men make up most of the cases. You know what I'm saying? That's what they said. You know what I'm saying? They want to come around and do some weird shit. Look at this. This is crazy. This is something good for Black Light Revelation C19 report. A fired Little Caesars Pizza employee shot a manager who wouldn't rehire her. That's nice. What do you guys think about that? Here goes another great one. Woman stabs employee at neighborhood Walmart in Baton Rouge, sheriff says. Sheesh. Man, what's going on with these people? Put those away. We'll get to those later. And what's going on out here? People out here killing their bosses and all kinds of weird ass shit. Last week, the WHO said that 1,285 cases of monkeypox had been reported from 28 countries where monkeypox was not known to be endemic. No deaths have been reported outside of Africa. After the UK, the biggest number of cases have been reported in Spain, Germany, and Canada. WHO said many people in the outbreak have atypical features of the disease, which could make it more difficult for the doctor to diagnose. The UN Health Agency also said that while close contacts can spread monkeypox, it is not clear what role sexual body fluids, including semen and vaginal fluids, play in the transmission. I mean, clearly they play the same kind of part that they play in any other herpes virus. I mean, why are we sitting here acting dumb? You know what I'm saying? Why are we sitting here acting dumb? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we got 15 viewers. Shouts out to the 15 viewers, and we got 12 likes. If everybody smashes that like button, we will be at 27, which would be awesome. If you guys have already smashed the like and you're enjoying the content, give us a thumbs up in the chat. Monkeypox is doing some interesting things. You know what I'm saying? Monkeypox is doing some interesting things. I got this thing going on in the background here, and I can't turn it off, which is just annoying. Just annoying. It makes life extremely difficult when the computer does that. So what I want to show you guys now is it went from don't worry about it to this. As monkeypox cases rise, nations are urged to examine vaccine stores. Now, here's my question for you guys. Why would nations be urged to examine their vaccine stores? Why are the cases rising when we weren't supposed to worry about this? This wasn't supposed to be something that we were worried about. Remember? It's not a big deal. Right? It's not a biggie. No biggie. Now all of a sudden we're checking to make sure that we have vaccine stores. I think that could be kind of concerning. I think that could be indicative of some problems that we may see later on down the line. So now here it says the United States has stockpiled millions of doses of 2 smallpox vaccines, also effective against monkeypox. Now, I got a question to ask, and I want to know everybody's opinion on this. Smallpox was eradicated according to the CDC. Why do we have stockpiles of a smallpox vaccine? Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense at all? So now here it says, but the outbreaks so far are clustered in other countries. More than a dozen countries grapple with outbreaks of monkeypox. Health officials worldwide are rushing to amass reserves of vaccines and treatments that may be needed to contain the spread. Wait a minute. This was supposed to not be a concern. Now, all of a sudden, we're scrambling to find vaccines and then to stockpile them. This is a very different tune than what was being sang at the beginning of this. You guys remember, because we talked about this right at the beginning. There's a video on Blacklight Revelations 1 about this. So why the change of tune now all of a sudden? What's going on here? This is a huge change in direction from what the original plans were, from what the original assumption was. So now here it says the U.S. emergency stockpile holds 2 vaccines approved by the Food and Drug Administration that could be used to contain monkeypox. Officials at the Center for Disease Control and Prevention told reporters on Monday. The stockpile contains more than 100 million doses of the original smallpox vaccine. Why do we have so much of that? That's quite a bit. Yeah, I gotta agree with RG Titan and Hey Mr. Knickerbocker. What's going on, Hey Mr. Knickerbocker? If you guys agree with RG Titan, if you guys agree with that, if you guys agree with Hey Mr. Knickerbocker, give me a thumbs up in the chat. So now here it says, but that vaccine is associated with side effects. Uh-oh, Richard. and shouldn't be given to certain patients, including those who are immunocompromised. Uh-oh, Richard. Houston, we got ourselves a problem, Houston. So now here it says a newer vaccine called Jynneos was approved in 2019 for prevention of smallpox and monkeypox. Why are we why? So we got a vaccine approved in 2019 for smallpox and for monkeypox. I want y'all to just sit back and marinate on that. Sit back and marinate on that and let me know the first thing that comes to mind. What is the first thing that comes to your mind about that? Pretty interesting, isn't it? Pretty interesting. So now here it says more than 1,000 doses are held in the stockpile. Dr. Jennifer McKeeston, a deputy director at the CDC, said, "We expect that level to ramp up very quickly in the coming weeks as the company provides more doses to us," she said. Doses have already been requested from the stockpile for inoculation of some high-risk contacts, she said. Still, the dimensions of the problem in the United States are not yet clear. As of Monday, officials had confirmed just one case in Massachusetts and were evaluating 4 other patients. The situation overseas is more concerning. As of Monday, there were more than 100 confirmed cases in 14 countries outside of Africa and dozens more under investigation. Uh-oh. Oh, uh-oh. And that's true, Carla. That's a fact. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we got 16 people watching. If everybody smashes that like button, we will have 28 likes. So please, everybody, make sure you guys smash that like button. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that bell. Hit that bell icon twice. All right. So now here says that day, the European Center for Disease Control and Prevention urged health officials in Europe to assess the availability of smallpox vaccines, antivirals, and personal protective equipment. The World Health Organization is holding stockpiles of about 31 million smallpox vaccine doses, but they have lost some potency in the decades since they were made. Why do they still have them? Why does the World Health Organization still have so many smallpox vaccines? Nobody sees any issue with that. Here's my question. If you guys see a slight issue with that, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you don't see a slight issue with that, if that seems normal to you for whatever reason, give me a thumbs down in the chat. And also let me know why, aside from the assumption that they may attempt to reintroduce smallpox, what other reason do you think that they would have this vaccine? They've been sitting on the smallpox vaccine the same way Russia has been sitting on Cold War era nuclear missiles, guys. The same way that Russia has been sitting on Cold War era nuclear missiles. Why would they do that? What's the point of that? What's the purpose of that? What's the benefit in that? Is there one? Is there a benefit in that? And if you guys feel that there is a benefit in that, I have to ask you guys, what do you think that benefit may be? What might that benefit be? The largest monkeypox clusters have been reported in Europe. You know what that means? They might be the world's minority, but clearly they have a majority of Lucky Charms. Again, we talk about what's going on with asking ourselves the question about what is a woman. And then we go back to the issue of the introduction of degeneracy from Western cultures to other cultures in the world. I mean, monkeypox, based on who it's affecting, can be traced to that kind of thing and assessed. That's one of the interesting things about epidemiology and virology and following the path of viruses and sicknesses and illnesses. Pirate says for population control purposes. You guys agree with Pirate? Population control purposes? Agenda 21? The largest monkeypox clusters have been reported in Europe, particularly in Spain, prompting some experts to hypothesize that the outbreaks originated in that country. Spanish officials are investigating two potential sources: a gay pride event held in the Canary Islands beginning on May 5th that drew out about 80,000 revealers, as well as a sauna in Madrid. But as long as you understand that everybody can get it, that's what you need to understand. Now, you know what they're going to say. We can't say that a gay pride event was the potential source. That's being homophobic. Shouts out to my man Speak Facts Podcast. What's good with it, bro? We can't say that it started in Spain at a gay pride event. That's being homophobic. Uh-oh, Richard. Uh-oh. So now here it says, although many of the initial infections in Europe were reported among men who have sex with other men. I didn't know that was one of the alphabet. I didn't know that. I didn't know MWHSWM. I didn't know hashtag MWHSWM was one of the genders. Somebody in that equation identifies themselves as a female. So why are they not being addressed as a female in the media? I think we need Matt Walsh to come look at this. Who was that said that? Come look at this. Come look at this. Come look at this. Who said, was that Kevin Hart? Other segments of the population are clearly vulnerable. Again, so they're doing it again. I mean, we know that other segments of the population are clearly vulnerable. We know that. It's just that the rainbow segment of the population seems to be extremely susceptible. Now, here's my question for you guys. Let's do a little bit of critical thinking, shall we? Why is the rainbow segment of the population susceptible to this? Shouts out to Sugar Bum. What's good with it? Good to see you over here. So now here it says officials must keep a broad definition. So as now look at this. Officials must keep a broad definition so as not to leave out other groups which may emerge as being important, said Bohagma Titanji, an infectious disease physician at Emory University in Atlanta. So like how Matt Walsh has been going around asking the question, what is a woman? I have to ask you guys in the comment section, what is a man? And how do you define a man who has sex with men? What is that? Because one of those people in that category or one of those people involved in that relationship would identify as a woman. So then that means we have to ask ourselves the question, what is a woman? Because if we say they're men having sex with men, that's actually being homophobic, right? That's actually being homophobic. That's actually being anti-LGBTQ because one of those men identifies as a woman. You see how that works? So now make that make sense. Does that make any sense? Speaks Facts podcast says that it's confusion. If you guys agree that it's confusion, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you disagree, give me a thumbs down and help us to understand how we're supposed to navigate through all of these pronouns and things. Britain reported its first cases of monkeypox in patients with no known links to West Africa just over a week after the events in Canary Island. But some experts said the pattern of infection suggested that the virus might have been circulating outside of Africa for several months. That's fascinating. Isn't that the same thing that they found out about the Omicron variant? What we talking about? Shouts out to my man Moxie Approved. Ladies and gentlemen in the chat, tell Sugar Bum what we talking about. We're actually talking about things that happen to men who have sugar bums. And other groups. Can't leave out the other groups. But mainly a large majority of men who have sugar bums. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just trolling, man. I'm trolling to say it so that people see how confusing it is. So that people see what kind of spider webs we weave for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says the monkeypox virus is endemic to West and Central Africa. Continuing community transmission elsewhere is highly unusual. Now that's interesting. It seems like it's why is it stuck in West and Central Africa? Let's talk about that. Now, my question is, do you think that it's circulating among the same kind of population as far as gender in Africa as it is in Europe? What do you guys think about that? Is that men who have sex with men, African men who have sex with men, which according to Matt Walsh, when he did that interview, he did an interview with that tribe in Kenya, it seems that that's not really that big of a thing over there. So my question is, who are the people who are getting it there? And my thing is wouldn't that be where you could look at how it affects other groups? Because if what we want to do, according to these articles here, according to the way that they're politicizing this, is if we want to take the focus off of the fact that this primarily occurs in LGBTQ men, then what we would want to do is look at where populations of where there's few LGBTQ men and large numbers of outbreaks. So it seems to me that the best place to gather the data about what other groups could be affected would be in those locations in Africa where the monkeypox virus is endemic, West and Central Africa. They should have data about that already because since it's been endemic there, the WHO has a stockpile of information about it. So what do you guys think? Let me know what you guys think about that. I got another video coming about that. It was in Idaho. Carla Lockhart said, yes, they have a lot of pride festivals everywhere. Hey, Mr. Knickerbocker says, it's not the LGBTQs that are confused or confusing. Those are strictly sexual preferences. It's the TQIAs that are gender confused. I hate they even group it all as the same. Yeah, no, I feel that. I think it's interesting how they do it too. You know what I'm saying? It's all a very interesting discussion, to say the least. You know what I'm saying? To say the least, it's a very interesting discussion. We do not usually see this level of apparently sustained spread in outbreaks occurring outside of endemic regions and not associated to travel or animal exposure, Dr. Titanji said. President Biden warned on Sunday that everybody should be concerned. Now, again, this is a change in tune from what was being said a couple months ago. So now I find it interesting that they've gone full circle on this. And just wait. because there's some more interesting information that's about to come out. You know what I'm saying? President Biden warned on Sunday that everyone should be concerned, but added the next day that the United States had enough doses of the vaccine to protect Americans. But remember that vaccine is old as hell, and being that it's old as hell, it's lost a lot of its potency. What they need to start doing is, if they think that we're going to have to utilize this virus, you'd think that they should start testing the virus that we have and start dosing the old virus while getting started on production of some new ones. That's what you think they do. That's what you think somebody who just got a $150 million grant in Kalamazoo, Michigan would do. Cough, Pfizer, cough. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we got 15 likes. If everybody smashes that like button, we'll have 32 likes, guys. So please make sure you help your boy out and smash that like button. So now here it says, in any event, mass immunization campaigns are unlikely in any country. So then my question is, why the hell do we have so many doses stockpiled? Why does the WHO have such a large supply? See, these are the questions that we got to ask ourselves. We got to ask these questions. We got to put these questions out. We got to make sure that we got them documented. And then when this stuff starts to blow up, like what was going on in Ukraine, we can go back and reference it and say, see, we were ahead of the curve on that. We sound a lot different than the mainstream media. It's not our fault people want to ignore us. I think we do pretty good work. Hey, Mr. Knickerbocker says, I said that. Don't the vaccines have expiration dates? The virus may not be new at all. They aren't saying the virus mutated. That's a fact. If I'm not mistaken, I think that there's only 4 known mutations of this. Carla Lockhart says, extreme total confusion. Facts. If you guys agree with Carla, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you disagree, give me a thumbs down. I absolutely agree. Now, check this out. And remember, there's more information coming. The outbreaks are unlikely to warrant such a campaign. What does it sound like is going on with this? It sounds to me like a situation where we want to try to act like we have everything under control, but we actually have no idea what we're doing. That's what this sounds like to me. That's what this sounds like to me. This sounds like a situation where we want to have everybody have the perception that we've got everything under control, but we actually have no idea what we're doing. Why would we do that? Why would we operate like that? How does that help anything? Does it help anything or does it hurt anything? Instead, officials may recommend immunizing a circle of close contacts around those found to be infected, an approach called ring vaccination that has been used to suppress other outbreaks of rare diseases. Ring vaccination. Now, what I find fascinating is when it came to the C19, the strategy was mass vaccination. You see, there's different patterns of vaccinations that you can give people. Now, my question is, why did they go about doing C19 the way that they did? Why did they do that? So now here it says Mass immunization campaigns are not recommended because the older smallpox vaccine can have rare but severe side effects, such as inflammation of the heart muscle. That's pretty damn serious. That's a pretty damn serious side effect. So my thing is while you sitting on this old version of the smallpox vaccine, are you possibly considering making a new version of it? Is that something that can be done? That to me sounds like something that it wouldn't really hurt if people did that and got that done. What do you guys think? That vaccine also may be risky for immunosuppressed people, including those with undetected HIV infection. So I mean, my thing is if you contract smallpox, wouldn't you want to do a concurrent HIV test? That's a great question for the chat. How many of you guys are going to take the new smallpox vaccine? Carla Lockhart says it needs to be investigated in West Africa. Who was vaccinated and who or what agencies were administering vaccines? Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. And we will definitely be keeping an eye on that. You already know. Y'all already know. Black Light Revelation C19 report. We on it. You're not getting the monkeypox vaccine. I heard the least painful site to get the injection is in your sugar bum. I heard the least painful place to get it is with a little pinch of lidocaine on the sugar bum. They call that a booster. You know what I'm saying? It can be fatal even in people with eczema. I mean, Jesus, which affects an estimated 30% of Americans. Yeah, we might want to try something else then. We might want to think about trying something else if that's the case. Hold still. So now here it says, after the September 11 attacks, the United States considered immunizing the entire population to protect against a terrorist attack using smallpox. Now, let's just back that up for a second. They ran planes into a building. What would make somebody think that the next thing that they're going to do is use smallpox? And where would they get the smallpox from? We're talking about people that allegedly, if we're talking about Osama bin Laden, people that lived in a cave that didn't have no access to any kind of crazy laboratories or anything like that. So you go from we hijacked a plane and flew it into a building allegedly. We're going to go from that to these people could have deadly smallpox or deadly smallpox capability. Seriously? I mean, does that even make sense? Now, here's my question. How do we know that C19 hasn't changed people's susceptibility to be infected by monkeypox? What's the chances of that? Have any studies been done to investigate that possibility? I mean, we are in the middle of a pandemic still. As much as, it's not all out there in our face like that anymore, it is still out there. You know what I'm saying? It is still going down. So that's my question, guys. And my thing is in my opinion, I think that this is something that we need to start thinking extremely critically about. We need to start thinking extremely critically about this. And ladies and gentlemen, we got 20 people watching right now. If everybody smashes that like button, we will have 35 likes. Hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like button. In the end, it was decided no, because of the negative consequence of vaccinating lots of people. I mean, that's interesting because, I mean, we kind of just did that. So now for this, that's a bad idea. So for this, that's a bad idea? How's that work? So now here it says vaccine side effects are rare, he added. Um, okay. Vaccine side effects are rare, he added. But once you start giving it to millions of people, then they will start to add up. Newer generation vaccines like Genos are likely to be safer for large groups, and ring vaccination may be enough to contain the virus. Hopefully, presumably, monkeypox is still relatively rare right now, and the ring vaccination strategy may well be able to keep it completely at bay, Dr. Henage said. Now, I got a question for you guys. Do you all feel that the world governments are taking are taking monkeypox seriously enough? If you guys feel that the world is taking monkeypox seriously enough, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you guys don't, give me a thumbs down. Finish reading it, Rob, and the next comment too. Which one, Carla? Oh, this one here. Big pharma, big money for investors, population control. Yeah, that's a fact. It needs to be investigated in West Africa. Who was vaccinated and who or what agencies were administering the vaccines? Bill Gates, Yankees think. Yeah. What do you guys think about that? So now here it says, in addition to vaccines for prevention, the United States has look at this. Now this isn't making sense. They keep saying how we don't need to worry about that, but look at how much investment the United States has put into vaccines. Look at how much investment the United States has put into vaccines. In addition to vaccines for prevention, the United States has procured more than 2 million doses of an antiviral pill called tecovirimat, which is approved to treat smallpox in those who become infected, according to the CDC. But remember, smallpox is supposed to be eradicated. Emmanuel Carey says population is another term for replacement theory. And Bill Gates is the ultimate replacement theorist. Carbon dioxide emissions. That's what he said. The agency is also working with the drugs manufacturer to develop an IV form. Human monkeypox was first identified in 1970 in a 9-year-old boy in a region of the Democratic Republic of Congo where smallpox had been eliminated, which I find fascinating because the United States is a region of the world where allegedly smallpox has been eliminated. So what now is the question? What now? What do you guys think? This is a currently ongoing and changing situation. I'm telling you, literally almost every day the recommendations, the assumptions, the way that we're expected to handle this, it literally all changes. It all changes. Every single day, it's something different. Every single day. Every single day is something different. Go back. How many of you guys have watched any of the other videos on this channel? Go back and watch all of the videos on this channel. Watch every single one and pay attention to the dates when you watch them. The information that you find will be fascinating, and it will be scary how accurate the way that we predicted things happening has all happened. It will run chills down your back. So I got to ask you guys the question, how is it that we so accurately predict all of this stuff all the time? There has to be a method. There has to be a pattern. So now here it says monkeypox cases in the country have significantly increased in the decades since smallpox mass vaccination ended. In 2003, the United States recorded dozens of monkeypox cases that were traced to infected pets. Although the virus was first discovered in 1958 in monkeys kept for research purposes, it is spread by rodents. A week or 2 weeks after exposure, infected people may begin. Wait, hold on. Okay. A week. Now pay attention to this. We have a stream up about the cure. We have a stream up about the symptoms, but it's always good to review. It's always good to make sure that you understand everything that you can about the symptoms. You know what I'm saying? That's important. Understanding the symptoms, when they occur, and how they occur is extremely important. Not only is it important in dealing with the disease, it's also important in preventing the disease. It's also extremely important when it comes to prevention. So now here it says in 2003, the United States recorded dozens of monkeypox cases that were traced to infected pets. Although the first virus was discovered in 1958 in monkeys for research purposes, it is spread by rodents. So now, nowadays, it's being spread by Lucky Charms. Nowadays, guys, it's being spread by the Lucky Charms. So now here it says a week to 2 weeks after exposure, infected people may begin to now pay attention to these symptoms, because this might be a prize pot question at some point. Hint, 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 hint. This might be a prize pot question at some point, because the prize pot is fair game on all of my channels. The prize pot is fair game on all of the channels. So now here it says they also develop a distinct rash, first on the face, then on the palms of the hands and soles of the feet, then all over the body. So there's a rash that you start to develop, and that rash occurs in stages. That rash occurs in stages. The lesions, look at this, the lesions blister and they grow and fill with a white pus-like substance. The pustules, reminiscent of smallpox, most distinguishing feature, last about a week before they scab over and heal. Monkeypox patients also may have swollen lymph nodes in the neck, armpits, and groin. Now, here's my question for you guys in the comment section. Why do the Lymph nodes swell. What causes the lymph nodes to swell? There has to be some kind of pathophysiology that causes the lymph nodes to swell. Why do the lymph nodes swell? Who knows why the lymph nodes swell? In some cases, the rash may not be visible because it may be limited to the genital area. So, what does that tell you right there off the rip? That part right there is definitely indicative of something. And what is that indicative of? It goes back to the largest concentration of people who usually become ill with this. I want you guys to make sure that you understand, because these symptoms say something. These symptoms say something very specific about this disease. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we got 19 people watching and we got 19 likes. If everybody smashes that like button, we will be at 38 likes. So if you are enjoying the content, indeed, please make sure that you help your boy out. Smash that like button. Hey, Mr. Knickerbocker says STD, like herpes, and it actually comes from a herpes virus. AB Promotions says STD. If you guys agree with AB Promotions and hey, Mr. Knickerbocker, give me a thumbs up in the chat. The virus can still spread through physical contact or contaminated bed linens, clothes, or other materials. Infected people should remain isolated at home and abstain from sexual activity until their scabs dry and fall off. Now, here's my question. Why is it that men who have sex with men are spreading this faster than women and men who have sex with each other? Why is this? Why are the majority of the cases men who have sex with other men, and they haven't mentioned anything about the cases of men and women who have sex with each other? What is that indicative of? What does that tell you? That kind of implies something as well, doesn't it? Now, my question is, what is it that implies? Because it seems to me that implies something. That's important. That's something that we shouldn't not pay attention to. Are there even any statistics on that? So now here it says these are basic strategies that we can use in responding to outbreaks all around the world, and they work. Dr. McKiston, the CDC official, said infected people should also avoid close contact with immunosuppressed people, pregnant women, and children, all of whom are at high risk of complications if they acquire the virus. Health officials in Belgium are now asking close contacts of infected people to quarantine. Now, I find it funny because this entire article, they've been saying how not serious this is while really talking about some serious shit. They've been talking about how not serious this is while talking about some extremely serious shit. Now, here's my question. Does any of this make any sense? That's my question to you guys. Does it make sense? I don't think this makes any sense. There's conflicting information in this article, in my opinion. And anytime there's conflicting information, that's a red flag. Conflicting information is always, 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 always a red flag. So now here it says it's another reason why, if you're a person who may be at risk due to a weakened immune system, to be particularly careful about seeking out elderly care and evaluation. Dr. John Brooks, medical epidemiologist at the CDC, said. On Monday, the European Center for Disease Prevention and Control also cautioned infected people against close contact with pets. So pets and men who have sex with men. That's interesting. If human to animal transmission occurs and the virus spreads in an animal population, there is a risk that the disease could become an endemic in Europe, the agency warned. Which is interesting. Again, this reminds me of Ukraine, how they're so worried about what's going on in Europe while not giving two shits about what's going on in Africa. It's just expected for Africa to be disease-ridden. Some experts have feared for years that there might be a resurgence of monkeypox. Well, I guess they were right. I guess they were right. Here it is. Whoop, there it is. So funkified. The last known cases of smallpox occurred in 1977, and it was declared eradicated in 1980. Yet and still, we have a nuclear stockpile of vaccinations. See? I didn't make that up. How many of you guys knew that in 1980, it was declared that smallpox was eradicated? Now, my question is, if we were aware that this was eradicated, why do we still have such a large stockpile of the vaccines? Why do we still have such a large stockpile of the vaccines if this is eradicated? And here's my question. Here's another question. Why haven't we eradicated any other diseases? Is there any other disease that's been eradicated? They claim to have some type of control over tuberculosis. But people still get tuberculosis. They still test people for tuberculosis all the time. They still give people those man-2 tests to see if they got tuberculosis or not. We're going to sit up here in front and act like they don't. They still do the man-2 tests all the time. So now here it says, with the end of immunization programs for smallpox, the number of people who are susceptible to this family of viruses has risen each year. Scientists in Portugal sequenced the monkeypox virus in skin lesion samples collected from a male patient on May 4th, but that sequence is incomplete. So far, the current strain, look at this. So far, the current strain appears to be closely related to versions exported from Nigeria to Britain, Israel, Singapore in 2018 and 2019, researchers have concluded. So what do you guys think about that? The United States sequenced a sample from the first confirmed case in Massachusetts within 48 hours and has shared the sequence publicly. The samples from Massachusetts and Portugal seem closely related, Dr. McKiston said. Now, here's my question for everybody in the chat. Do you all feel that there's a possibility that the strains that are prevalent in Africa are different than these highly aggressive ones that are popping up in Europe? If you guys think that these are different strains, give me a thumbs up in the comment section. If you don't think that they're different strains, let me know what your theory is. All signs point to this being an outbreak associated with person-to-person spread, she added. The West African version of the virus is thought to cause milder symptoms. It does not spread easily among people and has a fatality rate of about 4%, compared with a mortality rate of about 11% with the Central African version and 30% for smallpox. No deaths have been reported in the current outbreaks. There is no indication that the virus has changed significantly in virulence or mode of transmission. Okay, I want you guys to pause. If you guys heard what I just said, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you didn't hear what I just said, give me a thumbs down and I'll reread it. I'm going to reread it anyway, just in case, just to save time, because I got a couple other streams that I want to get to. But there's a lot of information in here that we got to cram down. There is no indication that the virus has changed significantly in virulence or mode of transmission. You guys heard that, right? You guys heard that, right? I'm going to show you guys something real quick. Monkeypox transmission has changed, and scientists don't know why. So there's that. So much for that. Right? So much for that theory. So much for that theory, right? That was from Newsweek. We'll get to that article momentarily. So see, the thing is that they're all over the place with this information. And you got to ask yourself the question, why are they all over the place with this information? It doesn't make sense for them to be all over the place with the information. AB Promotions says they got some splaining to do. If you guys agree with AB Promotions that they got some splaining to do, give me them thumbs up in the chat. If y'all disagree, and nah, they okay. You know, everything's all good. Just, you know, if you're one of those, put a coon in the comment section. So now here it says, unlike the rapidly mutating RNA-based coronavirus, monkeypox is a large DNA virus that is capable of correcting its genetic errors. I mean, that's not scary or anything. The dates are odd. You know what? I deleted the other article, but the date on this article here is May 23rd. Now, when we get to that other article, I'll give you the date on that one. These are particularly stable viruses, so monkeypox is less prone to mutation. So apparently they're less prone to mutation because they're stable. That's interesting. I'd be very surprised and very puzzled if there was some dramatic mutation that makes it much more transmissible. Well, now we know that the transmissibility has changed. Shouts out to my man Jay Bird. What's good with it, bro? Now we know that the transmissibility has changed. Carla Lockhart asks a great question. She says, so why didn't we hear about it in 2017 and 2018? That's a great question. Here's my question for everybody in the comment section. What was going on in 2017 and 2018 that we would not have heard about this, because usually when we don't hear about these things, it's because something else is going on and we're being bombarded with that other event that's going on. So my question is, what were we being bombarded with during that time? So now here it says, and this is not the coronavirus. There really isn't at any point any mass population risk. Now that's interesting. The virus, as far as we know, is still not very contagious. So that's it. That is the explanation of monkeypox and how to deal with it. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you feel more safe? Do you feel more capable of dealing with monkeypox and your life? That's a good question. I don't know. I can't remember what was going on in 2018. Honestly, that's why I was asking you guys. Because usually when something like that goes down, that's one of the reasons why they have so much other stuff going on, so that people aren't really paying attention to it. In most cases, people aren't really paying attention to any damn thing. So let's check this out. Debug says that the government is always using something to distract and misdirect the masses. If you guys agree with Debug, give me a thumbs up in the comment section. If you disagree, give me a thumbs down. So there's that. There's that. Monkeypox transmission has changed. Now, before we get into this article, let's ask ourselves some critically thinking questions. How is it that you think that the transmission has changed? There's, in my opinion, I'm thinking, right? There's only one way that the transmission could have changed. There's only one direction that could go in. So I'm going to ask you guys, and you guys don't necessarily have to say what I'm thinking. I mean, you guys can say whatever you want. But I have an assumption. What direction do you all think that the change in transmissibility is going in? That's my question. So now here it says the way monkeypox is transmitted may have changed and scientists don't know why. So now here's my question for you guys. What would have led them to believe that this could have changed? Something clearly triggered something. Something clearly caused people to look at something a certain way. Something caused some things to make people say, you know, this is not moving the same way that it usually does. What is it that caused that is the question. What do you guys think may have caused it? So now here it says before the most recent outbreak, monkeypox was usually only recorded in areas of Western and Central Africa. In recent weeks, however, more than 1,000 cases have been recorded across 29 countries. Before now, direct physical contact was believed to be the main source of transmission, with few exceptions. There have been examples where the virus may have been spread through airborne particles, y'all. They're thinking that this thing might have gone airborne. So now we're dealing with a A transmission, air and ass. We're dealing with a highly contagious disease that has the transmission routes A, double A, air and ass, ladies and gentlemen. Air and ass. That can never be a good situation. That can never, ever be a good situation. That's always bad. But you guys know that. You guys know that. You guys are a smart bunch of people. I don't need to hold your hands or anything. You know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, real quick, we got 21 likes. If everybody smashes that like button, we'll have 37. So please make sure you smash that like button. So now here it says Brittany L. Kmush, an associate professor at the Department of Public Health at Syracuse University, told Newsweek that although typically monkeypox is not thought of as an airborne virus, its mode of transmission may have changed subsequently and caused this outbreak. That's not good. That's not good at all. So now here it says it's much easier to catch monkeypox from direct contact with the rash than through airborne exposure. However, the current monkeypox outbreak seems to be somewhat different from past outbreaks, she said. It is less likely that patients have symptoms of general illness prior to the rash appearing, and the rash is generally less severe. There is also more community transmission than in the past, that is, cases where the source of infection isn't known. Therefore, it is possible that the mode of transmission in this instant is also somewhat different. It is important to remain up to date and follow the guidance given by public health officials as this outbreak continues to unfold. Now, here's my question. Why is an outbreak unfolding? Why is an outbreak unfolding? In my opinion, we're seeing the same thing that we saw before. A failure to act, slow turnaround time. No, I mean, to me, like, none of this is a mystery. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, given the unusual nature of the outbreak, scientists initially suspected that the virus may have mutated into a more transmissible form. Now I find that fascinating because we were just talking about how rare mutations are with this because of how genetically stable it is. So we're back to this now. Now we're back to this. However, genomic sequences studied from the outbreak didn't back this up, Wired reported. So if genetic, it says genetic sequences studied from the outbreak didn't back this up. So then why are we still assuming it? It got disproven. Why are we studying something that got disproven? Somebody named Robin White wrote this article. Does any of this make any sense? There's a lot of double talk going on here. A lot. And it doesn't make any sense. I don't know what her credentials are. She works for Newsweek. It's probably about it. So now here it says there's also the question as to whether the virus can be sexually transmitted. I mean, I don't know why that's a question. Are you serious? Why is that a question? Can the virus be sexually transmitted? We know it can be sexually transmitted. Here's my question to you guys in the comment section. Can this virus be sexually transmitted? I mean, we all should know the answer to this, but we'll bite anyway, whatever. Some, but not all cases have been linked to sex. Scientists are still researching this. Can masks curb the spread? In recent days, there has been a debate on how airborne the virus is, and subsequently whether wearing masks could help curb the spread. There have been no examples of airborne transmission in the current outbreak that experts know of. However, it has happened in the past. So my question is then, why are we still looking at it? That's my question. Why are we still looking at it then? Experts previously told Newsweek that cases where monkeypox appears to have spread through airborne particles may have been caused by blister fluids suspended in the air. That is a disgusting thought. Just think about that. You're breathing in zit pus. Breathing in zit pus. That's ugh. The CDC previously posted guidance advising travelers to wear a mask to help curb the spread. However, that was taken down. So now here we go again with this shit. Advising masks and then not advising masks. Sound familiar? We're advising masks and then we're not advising masks. Now, why would we do such a thing? Why would we do such a thing, ladies and gentlemen? We're advising masks and then not advising masks. We're supposed to know what we're talking about here. The CDC said in a statement it removed the advice because it caused confusion. What kind of confusion could that have caused? Why would that have caused confusion? That's pretty straightforward, wouldn't you say? I mean, seriously, that's pretty straightforward. So what kind of confusion could that have caused? So now here it says, however, this sparked a backlash across social media. Scientists have accused the CDC of making things more confusing. Again, this sounds familiar, doesn't it? But now it's okay that we do it because it's not a particular virus. Make it make sense. Epidemiologist and health economist Eric Fiegelding tweeted about this. pointing to the UK government, which has listed monkeypox as an airborne virus of high consequence. Even if monkeypox can be airborne, experts say it remains very different to COVID. I mean, we know that. What I want to know is what's the likelihood of non-LGBTQ men getting it? Because honestly, they haven't even said or shown any prevention methods for LGBTQ men to not get it. And also, I want to know why everybody who has sex isn't getting this virus. Does that make sense for people who don't like men who have sex with women to not be showing up on the radar? Shout out to my man U-Law. What up with it, bro? So now here it says masks can prevent the spread of monkeypox. Monkeypox can be spread through respiratory droplets, but typically only in cases of prolonged face-to-face exposure. This might occur among healthcare workers for infected patients or among household members, K. Mush tweeted. If you are a healthcare worker treating monkeypox or someone in your household is a monkeypox case, then wearing a mask in addition to other infection prevention measures will help prevent the spread of monkeypox. However, for the general public, wearing a mask is much more effective against more common viruses such as COVID or the flu. So that's the end of that. Now, what I find fascinating is that it didn't say, well, I guess it did. The way that the transmission has changed is that they feel that it's more respiratory. You know what I'm saying? It's more respiratory. So do you all feel like we're running out of time when it comes to this smallpox? Or I'm sorry, when it comes to this monkeypox epidemic? If you guys feel that we are, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you don't feel that we are, give me a thumbs down. Wireless Magazine feels like we are. Wireless Magazine feels like we are. Here's what they say. Monkeypox can be contained, but time is running out. Do you guys agree with this or do you disagree with this? It's always important, in my opinion, to ask the question, how do we feel about the headline? Because in most cases, the headline is meant to already get you in the mood to accept what it is that you're reading. So, in my opinion, my first step is to ask, how is the headline written? Monkeypox can be contained, but time is running out. True or false? I agree with Emmanuel and hey, Mr. Knickerbocker. Testing, vaccinating, and contact tracing can control the virus in Europe and North America unless complacency allows it to take hold. Unless complacency allows it to take hold. Complacency with what? What would we be being complacent with? What are they talking about? What is it that we're not complying with now? How are we being complacent? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we got 17 people watching and we got 21 likes. If everybody could take a moment and smash that like button, we'd have 39 likes, which would be awesome. Please help your boy reach that goal of 39 likes by smashing that like button. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Follow my other backup channels. Follow my other social media. I got to agree with RG. They want us in fearmonger mode. Yeah. I agree with this too. So now here it says, after witnessing the rise of monkeypox in parts of West Africa and Central Africa over the past 2 decades, Anne Rimian has watched the current outbreak with a certain sense of inevitability. There's always been this kind of existential threat about what could potentially happen with a pox virus, says Rimian, professor of epidemiology in the Fielding School of Public Health at the University of California, Los Angeles. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about this? Where it gets into a population where it could spread efficiently, we could see extended chains of transmission, providing this virus with a runaway that it hadn't had previously. Back in 2010, Rimian and colleagues laid out these warnings in a paper that was largely ignored by public health officials. Now, here's my question. Do you guys think that this paper was actually ignored by public health officials? Because the reason why I ask if you guys think that this was actually avoided by public health officials is because of the large stockpile of vaccines that we have. It's hard for me to believe that we have all of those vaccines just to have them. It's hard for me to believe that. In my opinion, I'm pretty sure there's a reason why we have those vaccines. There's a reason why. And the reason why is probably because of data that they got from some study that they shouldn't have done. I agree. This is what happens when they study a virus. No, it wasn't ignored. Facts. If you agree with RG Titan, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you disagree, give me a thumbs down. So now here it says, and now Europe and North America are facing an outbreak of a virus that has been rare in these regions. The latest statistics show that infections have been confirmed in more than 1,400 people across 31 countries. It sounds to me like they're downplaying how this is spreading. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like a big downplay. So now here it says, while monkeypox typically jumps from animals to humans in relatively isolated incidents, genomic sequencing indicates that it has been repeatedly spreading between humans over the past 5 years. Now, here's my question. How has nobody noticed this spread? How has nobody noticed this spread? And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to do a quick survey. If you got a notification from YouTube for this stream, type in a 1. If you did not get a notification from YouTube for this stream, type in a 2. All right. In fact, the current spread of cases appears to involve at least 2 separate outbreaks. It is thought that these may have started sometime in 2017 at a point when Nigeria was experiencing a sudden surge in cases before spreading globally at some point earlier this year, although the exact time frame is unknown. Several countries, including the United Kingdom, the United States, and Canada, have responded with a containment strategy known as ring vaccination, which involves tracking the close contacts of infected people and asking them to self-isolate and offering them a smallpox vaccine called Imvanex, supplied by the pharmaceutical company Bavarian Nordic. The UK has placed orders. Look at this. The UK has placed orders for 20,000 doses of Imvanex, while Germany has signed a contract for 40,000 doses. Doesn't sound to me like this isn't something to worry about. It doesn't sound to me like this is not something to worry about. If this was nothing to worry about, to me, it wouldn't seem like they'd be putting any investment into it, but they are. So now here it says computer models suggest that this strategy should prove an effective one because monkeypox typically has relatively low transmissibility. Research concluded by nonprofit research organization RTI International predicts that the combination of contact tracing and ring vaccination could reduce the likelihood of new cases by 78 to 89%. So now what they're doing and what they're saying is they're pushing this ring vaccination strategy, the containment strategy, ring vaccination. What do you guys think about that? But will this strategy be enough? While the virus has thankfully yet to cause any deaths, scientists worry. Look at this. Scientists worry about a certain sense of complacency and that some believe health authorities still need to do much more to keep monkeypox from developing into a recurring public health problem. I mean, to me, it's becoming a recurrent health problem. And to me, it just seems like we're kind of just sitting back and watching it become a recurrent health problem. It sounds to me like we're just sitting back watching this become a recurrent health problem. So now here it says, for instance, one issue with models is that they do not account for vaccine hesitancy. According to a report released in May, only 15 of 170 community contacts and 169 of 245 healthcare workers in the UK opted to take a monkeypox vaccination in the aftermath of a possible exposure. Sheesh. I mean, who cares? According to Donnell Biziano, a senior epidemiologist at RTI International who is modeling the outbreak, there needs to be much clearer messaging and education for frontline healthcare workers when it comes to the importance of getting protected and rapidly handling suspected cases. We need to be sure that everyone knows how to handle these cases in case they pop up in clinics, he said. There is no rapid test for monkeypox. You need to send the sample off to a laboratory and recommend that people self-isolate if it is a suspected case. And if it's confirmed, do the contact tracing and offer vaccinations. Rimian says there's an urgent need to develop quicker diagnostic tests, as well as to provide public healthcare workers with nationwide slide sets and photos so they can rapidly identify suspected cases. Communicating with subpopulations that are particularly at risk from the virus and offering them vaccines will also be important, she says. Now, in my opinion, this right here is their way of addressing LGBTQ men without addressing them. That right there is their little attempt to specifically address LGBTQ men without addressing them. I'm just saying. Current data suggests that this includes healthcare workers and men who have sex with men, which I find fascinating because those are very different things. Those are very different things. The concern that we have is that we're just viewing the tip of the iceberg when it comes to cases, says John Brownstein. Interesting. John Brownstein. Interesting. Professor of medicine at Harvard Medical School. We don't know how deeply rooted this virus has gotten into certain communities and whether it's past the point of a containment strategy and more of a mitigation strategy. Now, I mean, are you capable of finding out? You know? Something ain't right. Something is definitely not right. When it comes to predicting what may unfold, the problem lies in the many unknowns. Brownstein points out that we still do not know the transmissibility of the current strain, whether it is being passed on by modes other than sexual contact, and whether it can be transmitted by asymptomatic people. He says that some of these basic questions are still a few weeks away from being solved, while bigger issues such as how the virus might affect people who are immunocompromised, as well as the possible long-term outcomes of the infection, remain unknown. Making projections of future risk is challenging because the data right now is quite sparse, says Brownstein. We're building a picture of some of the mechanisms of transmission. So, I mean, like, we're still stuck on this transmission here. So, what I want you guys to pay attention to is pay attention to how, when it comes down to dealing with this thing directly, how slow these people are. Man, they're not moving very fast at all. So you got to ask yourself the question of why they're not moving that fast. Got to ask yourself the question of why they are not moving that fast. But it's not complete. Are those current outbreaks dying out or are they bubbling up? Scientists also warn that governments should avoid focusing too heavy on the current picture as the risks posed by monkeypox are more long term. Rimian says that if we fail to stamp the virus out and it continues to spread, it could eventually reach people who are immunocompromised. And while monkeypox, a DNA virus, is more stable and less prone to forming new variants than RNA viruses such as SARS CoV 2, if it affects people who are immunocompromised, it could have an opportunity to acquire mutations that might make it more transmissible or virulent. This is because people with weakened immune systems, for example, organ transplant or cancer patients who are on immunosuppressants, struggle to clear infections, giving viruses time to adapt themselves to the human body. The other risk is that monkeypox moves from humans onto other species, and so it becomes established in animal populations in North America and Europe, and has already happened in parts of Africa where it is endemic. This would make it impossible to eradicate in the Western world, which I find interesting because we eradicated smallpox allegedly. So just pay real close attention. There's a lot of double talk in these articles. There's a lot of tricky language that they use. So pay close attention. When monkeypox briefly found its way into the United States in 2003, it infected prairie dogs. You guys remember when we talked about that? When monkeypox was in the United States infecting prairie dogs? We know that ground squirrels are highly susceptible to the virus, and there is a wide host range of species, said Rimian. If monkeypox were able to become established in wildlife reservoir outside of Africa, it could be very complicated. It could be a very complicated situation to navigate. In my opinion, they're already to this day, right now, showing how much difficulty they're having navigating through the situation. There's clearly some navigational issues popping off. There are clear navigational issues popping off with this right now as we speak, in my opinion. So now here it says to pinpoint exactly how widespread the current outbreak is, the UK has chosen to make monkeypox a notifiable disease, meaning all healthcare professionals and laboratories that direct suspected cases are required to alert the UK Health Security Agency. I think the UK Health Security Agency has done the right thing because they've put the surveillance net out much wider, says David Heyman, an infectious disease epidemiologist at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, who has spent many years studying monkeypox in sub-Saharan Africa. Yeah, I think a prairie dog is similar to a groundhog. Carla said, it's like they said, don't ask, don't tell. The general population didn't know to ask. So WHO didn't tell, and we needed to know. I agree. And in my opinion, that right there, Carla, could possibly be one of the reasons why they said, maybe we better just keep these, maybe we better just keep these vaccines just in case. Maybe we better keep these vaccines just in case something bad happens. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we got 27 people watching and we got 22 likes. If everybody smashes that like button, we'll have 39 likes. So please make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, hit the bell. Share this video out to all your social media. All right. I think the UK HSA has done the right thing because they've put the surveillance net out much wider, said David Heyman, an infectious disease epidemiologist at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, who has spent many years studying monkeypox in sub-Saharan Africa. They'll begin to identify whether or not it's in other populations as well. And I mean, my thing is, we already got cases of monkeypox, so that should be easily identifiable. Shouts out to my man Tarek. What's good with it, bro? That should be easily identifiable. It's early on and we don't know which groups are at risk. Now, well, here's my question. Why do they keep repeating we don't know which groups are at risk? Y'all see what group is at risk? I'm going to ask you guys in the comments, what group is at risk? Like, they keep saying they don't know what group is at risk for. Here's a better question. Why don't they know what group is at risk? Why wouldn't they know what group is at risk? That's my question. Does that make any sense? It says, and we expect there are probably other groups. This is like, yeah, we're waiting to find some trends with black people so that we can say it's black people. Basically, we have trends with every other group. But what we're waiting for is just two connecting pieces of data so that we can say black people are the fault. So now here it says there are additional challenges ahead because the virus has already been linked with the MSM community, even though it is thought to be capable of spreading through all sexual networks. Scientists say that health officials will have to clearly communicate with the public to avoid monkeypox being stigmatized. So my thing is this is what they're doing already. They're already navigating how they're talking about this because they're worried about stigmas. Then they'll be getting a LGBTQ hate crime bill. So now here it says, if vaccines begin to be rolled out in target fashion to select subpopulations. Now, why would they be? This is what I'm saying. Look at this. If vaccines begin to be rolled out in a targeted fashion to select subpopulations, why would you not be going for the main population of who the face of the disease is? Make that one make sense. Make that one make sense. So now here it says the disease builds up a stigma and it could impact contact tracing efforts, something epidemiologists fear may be already happening. There's a concern about people wanting to self-identify for fear of stigma, says Bostein. Now they demand their identity any other time, but now when it comes to this, they don't want to identify. What do you guys think about that? Look at this, look at this. There's a concern that this virus, like other virus, could get unfairly associated with certain subpopulations. What does that translate to? What are they saying? What do they mean? And how is anything a misinterpretation when we have multiple videos and those multiple videos literally say exactly who it is that mainly gets this disease? So what are they talking about? So now here it says there are also questions about the capacity of healthcare systems, which are already exhausted and stretched to their limits by the demands of COVID-19, and whether they have the capacity to ramp up their response to monkeypox. Public health infrastructure is barely built to deal with the response to one virus, let alone two, says Bostein. But there are a lot of people working very hard around case identification, contact tracing, and testing. It's definitely stretching capacity, and there may be exhaustion, but I don't think there's empathy on the part of public health to respond to this. While scientists feel that there is room for optimism and that we will see the coming weeks and months whether the rates of new cases start to drop, it is vital that the ongoing outbreak is taken seriously before the virus becomes too entrenched within society. I think that the stakes are actually quite high when we think about having a pox virus that can circulate efficiently in humans. Yeah, I think that is a possibility. I think that that is a possibility. I think that that's a big possibility, actually. If it establishes itself, we could end up in a situation where we're going to have to continuously devote resources, which are already stretched, to combating a pox virus that's spreading globally. All right. So that's the end of this article in Wired. And the popular consensus when it comes to Wired, is that it's too late. It's too late, ladies and gentlemen. Make it make sense. That's what the evidence seems to be pointing towards. You know what I'm saying? That's what the evidence seems to be pointing towards. So my question for you guys then is what do you all think will be the next major announcement that we hear about monkeypox? I have another question for you. Do you guys think that not only are we going to have to deal with monkeypox, but do you think that us dealing with monkeypox is going to eventually evolve into us dealing with smallpox? That's my question. Make sure you guys leave the answer to that question in the comment section after the stream. All right. Shouts out to my man AJ. Because, ladies and gentlemen, players and pimps, you all have made it all the way through to the end of the stream. I appreciate every single one of you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you're not subscribed to the channel, y'all already know what to do. Make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash that like button. Make sure that you sub up the backup channels. Follow me on my other social media by hitting about and hitting the description box. And I will catch you all a little bit later on the next video. All right? Peace.